Welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you here. On this first episode of Building Machine Learning, I wanted to speak about myself personally. How would I learn AI and machine learning in 2027? There's a lot of opinions and ideas out there on the internet, but I wanted to give something a little bit more raw and a little bit more honest. Most of the ideas that are spoken about in videos, I find that they're not really as realistic as can be, and also they're not really as authentic as can be. Authentic to how long it will take for you to learn, how real it is for you to learn. One of the first things that I must say, I'm going to be using a whiteboard. One of the first things that I must say becomes a critical idea is you're going to need persistence. This idea, you're going to be uncomfortable for most of the period, and it's going to be unknown. You're going to find yourself confused regularly. But one of the things that I love about data science is that all you need is the internet, a laptop, and steps. Now, I wanted to go into some of those steps. If you have the right steps, I've gone definitely the wrong steps, but those wrong steps is also why I feel I'm an authority to speak about what is the right way to go about it and what are the most important ways and which are the great sources to go to get those resources to find what you're looking for. One of the first things, which in let's just say 6 steps, there's 6 key steps. First, I think you have to understand Python is king. Python is, you could say, the data science language. You can't want to learn machine learning, you can't want to learn AI, you can't want to learn without understanding the language which you're going to learn. Python is an important tool. It's what you use to build. Even now, though people are saying that we're going to switch to natural language, that natural language is still going to be using Python as a tool in order to complete tasks. And as we move into a different phase in data science, where we're going to find ourselves reading code, understanding actions done, verifying why those actions have been done, most of those you will still find themselves in Python. Of course, we also use R. R is used by statisticians, it's used by data scientists as well, but it's something which is important to learn. Now, part of something which you could say is the second point, right? Projects. Now, you can use the projects to go about and actually try and kill 2 birds with one stone. I'm going to put a list of some of the best intermediate beginner projects which you can start with. Remember, as I said, the persistence, being uncomfortable, the unknown. This is a loop which you're going to have to just be used to. It's something that you're going to have to say, okay, I'm all right. It's okay being confused. Close the laptop, close the book, walk away. Start again tomorrow, start again after 3 hours. This is so important. And part of the thing is your projects, how you go about doing projects. This will not only teach you Python, but it will also teach you how to the main and the most popular data science concepts. Because remember, there's some problems which appear as patterns, and those patterns, learning how to solve those patterns is what will now become something that will reoccur and show in a different way. Part of the really good thing here is there's something called Free Code Camp. They're great. Like, I would really advise Free Code Camp. I'm going to put them there to go on their website, even their YouTube as well, to learn how they go about it. Because remember, with projects, right, one of the best way to go about it is you go top-down approach. So you have a problem, and then you now try and solve it. Now, when you try and solve this problem, when you go down, you will find that unknown, you'll be uncomfortable. But if you persist, you ask questions, and that's the thing about it, where you have to learn how to ask questions, be in that unknown. These are critical things on how you'll be able to learn. This is not something that's going to be immediate, but I'm talking about where you find yourself being curious, inquisitive, where it becomes something which becomes like a mini obsession. Now, the third step, which we can't deny, is you could say the maths. The maths is calculus, algebra, and stats, right? There's no easy way to go about it. When you start to do the projects and you start to understand, try and solve the problem, you're building the problem statement, trying to now solve that problem statement, you find that some of the solutions are stemming from mathematics. I'm going to add some of the links on how you can be able to go about learning that, and so that you can then be able to tackle that. Some of the links are simple solutions, but also some of them are more complex. And when we're speaking about complex, our actually takes us to our fourth one, which is machine learning. Machine learning, right? There's there's no easy way or there's no pretty way of writing this, right? I'm even breathing when I'm saying it. When you look at it, there's a series by Krish Naik on YouTube, which is, I believe, personally, is um, one of the best tutorials on the concepts and the ideas and the algorithms. Now you find that he goes through these concepts. It becomes a 6 hour video for one. So he's got a statistics video, he's got a deep learning video, and he's got a machine learning video. So these machine learning videos, because remember, machine learning is the fourth step. The fifth step has to be deep learning. Krish Naik has got a video on deep learning, statistics, machine learning, and each is 6 hours. So we're talking about 18 hours of video where you stop, start, read the concept, you go through it, you stop, start. And on top of that, this is something which you're doing as well while you started trying to go through projects on your GitHub, trying to solve them. If you don't have any Python experience, I would suggest you start first with the Python. Then after the Python, you start to go into the projects. Then you know that, okay, you're going to go into it. The good thing about the Krish Naik video is when he's going through the machine learning and the deep learning, he also goes into some of the mathematics concepts like the calculus, like the algebra. So it's still something that's being built on. Remember, this is something which it doesn't sound pretty and it doesn't sound easy. And of course, it might sound large, but what happens is a lot of people don't even know where to begin, how to navigate, where to start. And that's where the battle is already lost. I'm just checking if the mic is on. So, this part is now something which I think when I started wasn't there, but now has been introduced. So, the AI tools. You've got something now like ChatGPT, you've got Claude, you've got Augment, you've got Lovable, where you can be able to build these projects. But remember, data science is interdisciplinary field. You find the computer science concepts that come into the that come into it. There's principles of building software that come into it. And you must understand, like now, when you're trying to understand AI, you're trying to understand ML, you're starting with these projects. Maybe you're starting without understanding any Python. You're starting without understanding any of the projects, any of the maths, and you're saying, okay, all of this, and now how are you going to do this? First of all, you can look at AI as an AI tutor. You can give a specific role. So AI can act as a specific role. Also, then using the role, I would advise that on top of your questions, the idea of questions becomes so important. For example, interview questions, interview preps. So you can begin to ask yourself, okay, what are the interview preps? What are the interview prep questions that are asked for an AI engineer role? This is when you don't have any idea what's going on, but you read those questions, don't read the answers, but you start to understand, like, okay, what information is required, what information becomes critical. This is where you can now, the idea of an interview prep, the idea of having an AI tutor for the specific role that you want to get into. And now, when you're now adding the fact that you're building projects, you're going on a top down approach, you're trying to break them down in an orderly fashion. That's how now you start to iterate. It's a slow process, but when you go through this, you'll be surprised how, in time, this slowly begins to become something you're interested in. I went through about it in a disorganized way, in a disorganized fashion. Speaking of disorganized, I actually didn't speak about deep learning enough. There is somebody on the internet, his name is Andre, I think it's Andrew or Andre Karpathy. I'm going to put his YouTube channel. His YouTube channel is essential because he actually goes into deep learning, especially large language models, how to build them from scratch. And these are sophisticated chatbots. We've got someone who's called Three Blue, One Brown. He gives the most amazing animated channels, and he also goes into the calculus, he goes into the algebra, into the statistics. I've gone through it as 6 steps, and it'll be a bit hard to put timestamps on it because these ideas are so, these steps are so interlinked, but it becomes paramount to have the questions, understand the questions, have a lot of questions, have a lot of gaps in knowledge, and use, for example, the AI tutor to try and answer those gaps in knowledge, have a lot of questions, try and get those interview preps, which becomes so paramount to say, okay, what is it that they're looking to understand? When you now go to the Andrew Kapathy, you go to the Three Blue, One Brown, you go to the Krish Naik videos and you go through them. When you're now going in with so many gaps in your knowledge, the more gaps in knowledge that you accumulate, the more that hunger to understand what's going on will come. And with that hunger, you will find eventually you start to actually fill them out. And when you start to fill them out slowly but surely, you become more competent. The projects is also very important because people need to understand your skill. Like, what have you built? People want demonstrations of your skill. This is where the projects become so important. Your projects need to be interactive. You need to build projects which people can understand, like, okay, this is your skill, this is what you are, this is where you are, and you have to be interactive. So they have to be interesting projects for things that you're struggling with, things which you want to solve, things which a business would be interested in, not just things which like don't make sense. Because, and then when there are things which people, a business would be interested in, or business problems which are interactive, that also demonstrate your skill. This is now where you can begin to interlock with the AI tutors. This is something which people try and simplify, they try and dumb it down to try and make it seem like, okay, it's not something massive, and it's not something that will take time, and it's not something that which will require you to become something better than yourself. But if you begin with desire, then you add that persistence, even when you're in the unknown, even when you're in the uncomfortable, you will slowly but surely break this down until you've understood it and you become an authority in AI and machine learning, one way or the other. I think that's the best I've got for today. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.